Remember how over the past couple of weeks we've been giving out brand new K-Rock stickers for summer 2015 at Hot Topic locations all over Southern California and at various events with Beer Mug? Well, today's the day. Today's the day we do the grand prize drawing. We'll call someone at home and let them know they've won a 2015 Dodge Challenger, also a trip for two to see Muse in Mexico City, and a $500 Hot Topic gift card. So today is the day.
I hope it's me.
I don't think it's for you, Ralph.
You can't win.
Actually eligible.
Because you work here.
Damn lawyers.
Sorry.
Ralph, before we bring our guest on, you alerted us to the fact that this magic even exists yesterday on the program. Bring us up to speed for folks who weren't with us.
Well, here's the thing. I did a movie a little while ago for Sci-Fi called Lavalantula with that starred the legendary film icon Steve Guttenberg.
Well, it starred Ralph Garman.
No.
And Steve was in it.
Started Steve. Steve was Colton West. The something you'd like to play, Kevin?
Colton West, the
hero who saves all of Los Angeles from giant fire-spewing spiders.
I saw spiders the size of men spitting fire out of their mouths. Fire out of their mouths.
So yesterday I was very happy to celebrate his birthday. It was his birthday, and so I wanted to give him a shout-out. And so I also tweeted it out. And then, because I tweeted out Steve's Twitter, which is at Steve Gutbuck, by the way, I got on the radar of another Twitter account.
Okay.
At Love the Gute, which turns out is the Twitter handle for a podcast that I didn't even realize existed until yesterday, Gotta Love the Gute.
And now you'll be listening to nothing else on the way home after work every day, right?
I'm going to start binge listening because I think they're already 8 episodes in, but they apparently plan to take a hard, critical look at every project Steve Guttenberg's ever been in. And that's going to be their podcast.
We have Nate Sellers, the co-host of the podcast, the Gotta Love the Gute podcast, on the phone right now. But before we go to him, let's hear a little bit of their podcast, their most recent episode, as they prepare to delve into the phenomenal TV movie The Day After.
Welcome to Gotta Love the Gute, Episode 6, the podcast where we celebrate the body of work of the one and only Steve Guttenberg. I'm Nate.
I'm Khaki. Yes, this is Episode 6, The Day After.
Why don't we have Khaki? Because we have Nate. But if we had a choice of Nate and Khaki, how do we choose Nate?
Oh, let's
Nate
hear from Nate.
Nate was available.
Right.
Hi, Nate. Welcome to the Kevin and Beach Show, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you guys doing this morning?
Very good.
Great.
Nate.
Now, is Khaki your hot wife?
Yes, that is my wife. And yeah, you're right. I mean, she would have been the better choice.
Thank you.
But like you said, she wasn't available, so...
I would just like to point out to all the single guys who complain they can never get somebody, here's somebody who is married to a hot woman, yet he's doing a podcast about Steve Guttenberg, and he's managing to keep that marriage together. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, she's a saint. What can I say?
So, Nate, tell us how it all began. I mean, look, everyone loves the Goot. There's no surprise or secret there. But how did you decide to take it to the next step and do a podcast just about his films?
Well, there's a ton of different reasons, I feel, to do a podcast about the Goot. I mean, he's had an amazing career the past 40 years, and he's covered almost every film genre. And he's got a bunch of great movies and some not so great. I mean,
How dare you, Nate?
But wait, your podcast is titled Gotta Love the Gute. So don't you have to say good things about every movie he's in?
Well, we do say that, I can't remember. Well, this one particular movie we said, he did the best with what he was given.
So even in a bad project, the Goot still shines.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And, he's, I think he's realistic about some of the movies that he's done. I mean, all actors have those movies out there. And, we have to be, honest and analyze them fairly. But usually for the ones that aren't so great, we get pretty drunk beforehand.
I like it. That's a good policy.
That is a good policy.
So
we have fun with it.
So do you watch each movie, you and your wife sit down, you watch each movie, take notes, and then go in and record the podcast where you basically just recap and review the film you've just seen?
Yeah, well, there's a little more to it. I actually watch the film beforehand and take a bunch of notes that usually get thrown out, but and then we watch it together and record. So, it's sort of a long process, but I guess it's a labor of love.
Sure. When did you start this podcast?
We started back in June. We actually started recording a while ago.
June of this year?
Yeah, June of this year, yeah. Was when we started publishing our episodes. We had started recording a little bit earlier than that, just so we had a bit of a backlog. But yeah, so we haven't been doing that long, and I think the latest episode is episode 6. We have 7 episodes out, but the day after. So we're just starting out, and we're learning as we go. But
now it's every 2 weeks you guys try to put a fresh one up, right?
Yep. Every 2 weeks on Wednesdays.
Have you heard from the Gute yet?
We've tweeted back and forth a little bit here and there. I know he's very busy, so
He's not that busy.
But,
he's very busy, Kevin.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Listen, Nate, no promises, but I can put in a good word with the Gute. Maybe you guys can get an interview.
Wow. Oh, that would be fantastic. I'd love to just have dinner with him.
Well, that's not going to
Slow
happen.
down.
That's
You're
not going to happen.
He's not going to set up a date.
No, you're not going to get a meal, but you might get an interview. You might have, as a special guest, you might get the Gute on your podcast about the Gute.
Oh, man, that would be amazing. I wonder if, would we just interview him, or should we go through a movie? Maybe we have him pick a movie and sit in on an episode.
Look, don't make him jump through hoops for you, Nate, okay? Don't put the guy to work for you. Just be happy with the conversation.
Get him on the phone and like it.
Holy crap, Nate, you're tough.
Now, did you and your wife automatically go, oh, this is the podcast we need to do, it's the Gute, or did you have some other people that you were considering?
Well, I've always kind of wanted to do a podcast, but...
Right, but I'm saying about Steve Gutenberg.
Well, actually, it was last Christmas. We were watching Single Santa Seeks Mrs. Claus, as one does.
As one does.
Sure.
Yes.
Classic.
And I think I had been going off on like a long rant about how ridiculous the concept of this movie was. And, we had been drinking probably. But at the end of this rant, I said, but you gotta love the Gute. And just uttering that phrase and thinking about doing some sort of a movie podcast, it just seemed to, make sense. And then as we dug into his IMDb page and started reading his book, it seemed like a great idea.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, his book, The Gutenberg Bible, you got to pick it up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, available on Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got your work cut out for you. The man has been very prolific. He's been in a lot of films in the last 40 years, so you definitely are going to have plenty of material for some time.
Are you planning on doing them in order, Nate?
Yeah, we're doing them in order. So, the earlier episodes are some movies that people probably haven't heard about, but...
We're going to have to wait like 20 years to hear Lavalangela?
No, I think we'll be done in 2 years, or we'll be up to that point at least.
All right, we're almost out of time, Nate. Let me give out the information again. Nate and his wife, Kaki, do the podcast. It's called Gotta Love the Gute. You can go to gottalovethegute.com. The Twitter is Love the Gute, and the podcasts are available through iTunes. What's the response been like so far? Are you getting some downloads?
Yeah, definitely. It's always, it's an uphill climb, and the market is saturated. I mean, granted, we are the only strictly Gutenberg podcast.
Have you checked that? Do you know that for a fact?
Well...
I think it's safe to say, Nate. I think it's safe to say.
It's a pretty good guess.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
I mean, that was sort of the clincher when we were thinking about doing it. It's like, I really don't think anybody's doing this.
No, I believe you have cornered the market.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say, Nate, once you do get to Lavalangela, I'd be happy to come on as a guest and recount some stories about, what was like to be on the set with the Gute.
Why don't you fly out there and have cocktails and possibly make them dinner? I think that's what you should do.
That's a great idea.
Am I right,
Demands
Nate?
of his guests.
All right, Nate, congratulations on the podcast. Thanks so much for coming on the Kevin and Bean Show. We enjoyed talking to you, okay?
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.